I obviously have some time in between clients today, as you may have noticed by the amount of videos I put out this afternoon. And here's another one. I was just watching The Amazing Atheist's video, Humanity is Overrated, or the subtitled, Humanity's a piece of shit. And I was, and for the most part, agree with TJ. I was going, yes, yeah, man, we're kind of fucked. Yeah, I can see that. No good. One person can bring down something that... And then it started to kind of bother me. I agree with his... I appreciate his viewpoint. But he was using the example of... It takes... provided that the towers came down because of those hijackers only. But even then, if it was just the hijackers, it was a concerted team effort. So TJ was suggesting that it takes a huge amount of infrastructure and binding and cooperation between multiple people, companies, countries, products, what have you, and built up and to build the towers. And it only takes one small group of crazy people to take them down. So destruction is always easier than construction. And I in a knee-jerk response, I want to agree. But as I think about it, I have to more and more disagree. It didn't take cooperation for evolution. Except for cooperation amongst a species for it to survive, or else it wouldn't have. So every species we see on the planet today has done so by cooperation. Not the classic cooperation we think of in today's standards, but cooperation of a species with the environment and cooperation with the other species around them. Even if those other species are eating them, there's still some sort of cooperation. But the fact that the hijackers, going back to the hijackers, used airplanes to do it, again, provided that's how it happened, they couldn't build the planes themselves. They had to, again, hijack somebody else's construction. And then there was a group of them, so they all had to agree to cooperate to get this particular job of destruction done. So even the act of destruction took cooperation. And there was another example he gave of Kennedy being assassinated. That was it. Kennedy being assassinated. It took all of democracy and all the people voting to get Kennedy into office, which you can argue, and it only took one guy with a bullet to end it. Well, one guy with a bullet did not end democracy. Democracy was dead before that. And one guy did not just pull the trigger. Even if it was one guy, grassy knoll, blah, 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 even taken as assumption, it's the one guy who had to have been trained, who had to have the weapon. He didn't forge the weapon himself. He had to have a lot of cooperation, even if it was unwilling or unknown cooperation, in order for it to be pulled off. So it wasn't just some guy, and there are things that happen. One guy goes into a house and burns it down and does unspeakable acts to the family, and there's horrible things happen, but it's not the average. It's not the status quo. If that activity was the status quo, we wouldn't be here. I like to give the example, and I don't remember who gave it to me or who I heard it from, but piranha eat everything. Except there's other piranhas. Why don't the piranhas eat themselves? Or eat each other? Well, there's cooperation. They're a savage beast that will eat anything, but they still exist, so they cooperate with each other, despite how savage and vicious they are. So I'm going to have to disagree on this one. I appreciate the sentiment, and I hope it gets people thinking and a little scared, which it should, but I have to, by and large, disagree with this viewpoint. That's probably going to be the end of my video splurge, because I have clients back to back for the rest of the evening, but I was glad to be able to get that off my chest, and I do appreciate TJ's position, and I hope he does more videos, and I already know he will. So, peace.